This is an original fan-fiction episode inspired by publicly reported August 24th, 2026 Young and the Restless spoilers. It is not a transcript or reproduction of the CBS episode. CBS's official episode guide confirms the ongoing August storylines involving Victor, Nick, Billy, Lily, Jack, and the Newman-Abbott conflict. Genoa City had never been short on secrets. But on this particular Monday morning, the secrets were beginning to collide. At Jabot, Jack Abbott stood alone in his office, staring through the windows at the city below. He had spent most of the morning reviewing documents, messages, and information connected to Billy's increasingly aggressive battle over Chancellor. The papers on his desk represented more than corporate strategy. They represented family, they represented history, and most importantly, they represented a conflict that could tear the Abbotts apart. Jack slowly picked up his phone. Before he could make a call, the door opened. Nikki Newman stepped inside. She immediately noticed the tension on Jack's face. "You look like you've been carrying the weight of Genoa City on your shoulders." Jack gave her a tired smile. "Some days it feels that way." Nikki studied him carefully. "Jack, what's going on?" "Nothing I can't handle." "That's not an answer." Jack walked toward the window. "Nikki, there are things happening at Jabot that I can't discuss." "Because their business matters?" "Because their family matters." Nikki's expression changed. "Is this about Billy?" Jack didn't respond. That was answer enough. Nikki sighed. "I knew it." Jack turned around. "Billy has made decisions I don't agree with." "And you're afraid those decisions will hurt the family?" "I'm afraid they'll hurt everyone." Nikki stepped closer. "Then perhaps you should stop trying to solve everything alone." Jack looked at her. "You sound like Victor." Nikki smiled faintly. "That's unfortunate." For a moment, the tension disappeared. Then Nikki became serious. "Jack, I need you to tell me the truth. Are you planning to get involved in what's happening between Billy and Lily?" Jack hesitated. "I don't know yet." Nikki knew immediately that Jack was hiding something, and she wasn't going to leave without an answer. Across town. At the Newman estate, Victor Newman stood beside the fireplace, his expression unreadable. Nikki's absence had already made him suspicious. He had expected her to return much sooner. Victor looked at his phone. No message, no call. His jaw tightened. Then the door opened. Nikki entered. Victor turned toward her. "Where were you?" "Visiting Jack." Victor's eyes narrowed. "Jack Abbott?" "Yes." "Why?" "Because I was concerned." Victor stared at her. "Concerned about what?" "Jack." Victor shook his head. "Nikki, Jack Abbott has made his position clear." "He hasn't made anything clear to me." "That's because he's playing both sides." Nikki crossed her arms. "Victor, not everything is a conspiracy." "In this town?" Victor gave her a knowing look. "Everything is a conspiracy." Nikki couldn't help smiling. But then Victor's expression hardened. "I warned Jack." Nikki's smile disappeared. "About what?" "About interfering with my family." Nikki sighed. "Victor, no." He walked toward her. "Jack needs to understand something. Whatever happens with Nick, whatever happens with you, he does not get to decide what is best for my family." Nikki looked at him carefully. "And what happens if Jack believes he can help Nick?" Victor paused. "Then he should stay out of it." "Maybe that's exactly what Nick needs." Victor's eyes narrowed. "Nikki, he's struggling, Victor." The room became silent. Nikki's voice softened. "This isn't about Newman versus Abbott. This is about our son." Victor looked away. For perhaps the first time that morning, his anger disappeared. "I'm trying to protect him." "I know. But sometimes protection means making difficult choices." Nikki reached for his hand. "And sometimes protection means letting other people help." Victor didn't answer. Nick's turning point. Meanwhile, Nick Newman sat quietly at the rehabilitation facility. A puzzle was spread across a small table in front of him. He stared at it without touching another piece. His mind was elsewhere. He thought about his family, about Victor, about Nikki, about Sharon, about all the people who had tried to help him. Nick rubbed his forehead. "I don't know if I can do this." A voice came from behind him. "You don't have to know everything today." Nick turned. Marie stood there. She offered him a gentle smile. "I thought you might need some company." Nick looked at the puzzle. "I've been staring at this thing forever." Marie sat down. "Maybe you're overthinking it." "That's what I do." "Then stop." Nick laughed quietly. "That's easier said than done." Marie picked up a puzzle piece. "Try this one." Nick looked at it. "Where does that go?" "You're the expert." "I'm definitely not." Marie placed the piece down. Nick watched. Then suddenly, he realized something. "Wait." He picked up another piece. "It goes here." Marie smiled. "See?" Nick leaned back. "Maybe you're better at this than I am. Maybe I just know how to look at things differently." Nick became quiet. Then he said, "My mother came to see me. I know. She thinks I can get through this. Can you?" Nick stared at the puzzle. "I want to." Marie nodded. "That's a start." Nick's eyes became emotional. "Everyone keeps telling me I'm strong." "You are." "No, I'm tired." Marie didn't interrupt. Nick continued. "I'm tired of pretending I have everything under control." "Then don't pretend." Nick looked at her. For the first time in a long time, he seemed relieved. "I think that's what I've been doing wrong." Marie smiled. "You don't have to be perfect to move forward." Nick nodded slowly. Then his phone buzzed. He looked at the screen. It was Nikki. Nick hesitated before answering. "Mom?" Nikki's voice was warm. "How are you?" Nick looked at Marie, then back at the phone. "Today?" "Yes." "I'm trying." Nikki closed her eyes. "That's all I needed to hear." The Chancellor battle across town, Lily Winters was preparing for war. She stood in her office surrounded by documents. Holden entered. "You wanted to see me?" Lily looked up. "I need an answer." "About what?" "You know exactly what." Holden sighed. "Lily." "No more excuses." She stood. "You have to choose." Holden looked uncomfortable. "Between you and Billy?" "Between what is right and what is convenient." Holden didn't answer. Lily continued. "Billy believes he can simply walk into Chancellor and take control. But there are people who built that company, people whose lives are tied to it. You're emotional. I'm passionate. That's not always the same thing." Lily's eyes narrowed. "You're right." She stepped closer. "But sometimes passion is the only thing standing between a family and losing everything." Holden looked at the documents. "What exactly do you want from me?" "Your support." "Against Billy?" "Against anyone who believes power gives them the right to rewrite history." Holden took a deep breath. "I need time." "You don't have much." Lily walked away. Holden remained frozen. He knew this decision could change everything. Stephanie's advice. Later, Holden found Stephanie. "I need your advice." She looked up. "That sounds serious." "It is." Holden explained the situation. Stephanie listened without interrupting. When he finished, she said, "You already know what you want." "I don't." "You do." Holden shook his head. "I'm afraid of choosing the wrong side." Stephanie smiled. "There are no perfect sides." "Then how do I decide?" "Ask yourself who is fighting for the future and who is fighting because they can't let go of the past." Holden thought about Lily, then Billy. "That doesn't make it easier." "It isn't supposed to." Victor confronts Jack back at Jabot. Jack finally received the visitor he had been expecting. Victor Newman walked into the office. Jack stood. Victor. Jack. Neither man smiled. Victor moved toward the desk. We need to talk. About Nick? About you. Jack raised an eyebrow. That's unusual. You've crossed a line. Jack remained calm. Which line? The one involving my family. Jack's expression hardened. I'm trying to help Nick. Nick doesn't need you. That's not your decision. Victor stepped closer. Everything involving my son is my decision. Jack shook his head. That's exactly the problem. Victor stared at him. You think you know what Nick needs? I know what happens when families try to control every decision someone makes. Victor's voice became colder. Be careful. Jack didn't back down. Victor, Nick needs support, not another war. You're not his father. No. Jack paused. But I am his friend. Victor looked at him for several seconds. Then he said, Stay away from this. Jack's voice was quiet. I can't promise that. Victor turned toward the door. Then don't be surprised when I respond. He left. Jack remained standing. He knew Victor had just declared war. Nikki and Nicky returned to the rehabilitation center later that day. Nick was waiting. When she entered, he stood. Mom. Nikki embraced him. Nick held her tightly. I missed you. I missed you too. They sat together. Nikki looked at the puzzle. You're working on that? Trying. That's progress. Nick smiled. Everyone keeps saying that. Because it's true. Nick looked down. Mom, I'm scared. Nikki's eyes softened. You don't have to hide that from me. I don't know what happens next. Neither do I. Nick looked surprised. You don't? No. Nikki took his hand. But I know one thing. What? We take it one day at a time. Nick nodded. Then he asked, Did you talk to Dad? Yes. Was he angry? Your father is always angry. Nick laughed. Nikki smiled. He's angry because he loves you. I know. But there is something else. What? Jack wants to help. Nick became thoughtful. Jack? Yes. Nick looked at the floor. Maybe I need him. Nikki smiled. Then tell him. Billy's next move. Meanwhile, Billy Abbott stood inside the Chancellor offices. He looked around. The company represented something deeply personal to him. He had fought for this. He had sacrificed for this. And now he believed it was finally within reach. Sally entered. Billy, he turned. What's wrong? I could ask you the same thing. Billy laughed. Nothing's wrong. You've been staring at those documents for 20 minutes. I'm thinking. That's dangerous. Billy smiled. Very funny. Sally walked closer. Lily isn't going to back down. I know. Kane isn't going to back down. I know. And Victor is waiting for you to make one mistake. Billy looked at her. Then I won't make one. Sally studied him. That's what worries me. Billy frowned. What does that mean? It means you're becoming obsessed. I'm focused. There's a difference. Billy looked away. Sally continued. Chancellor matters, but so does your family. Billy's expression changed. My family is the reason I'm doing this. Maybe. She paused. But don't let revenge convince you that you're doing it for them. Billy had no answer. Lily confronts Billy. The office door opened. Lily walked in. Billy immediately knew this wasn't a social visit. Lily. We need to talk. I'm listening. I've made my position clear. So have I. No. Lily shook her head. You haven't. Billy stared at her. What do you mean? You've told everyone what you want. You haven't told anyone why. Billy became defensive. I don't owe you an explanation. You owe yourself one. That stopped him. Lily continued. If this is really about protecting Chancellor, then prove it. How? Stop treating everyone like an enemy. Billy looked away. Some people are enemies. Maybe. Lily's voice softened. But not everyone. Billy looked at her. For a moment, the war between them seemed less important. Then Billy's phone rang. He looked at the screen. His expression changed. "What is it?" Lily asked. Billy didn't answer. He read the message again, then again. Lily stepped closer. "Billy?" He finally looked up. "Someone just filed a new claim against Chancellor." Lily froze. "Who?" Billy's eyes darkened. "That's what I need to find out. A dangerous alliance." At Newman Enterprises, Victor received a message. His expression changed. Nikki noticed. "What happened?" Victor put the phone down. "Someone is moving against Chancellor." "Who?" "I don't know." Nikki sighed. "Victor, I'm handling it." "That's what you always say." Victor looked at her. "Because I always do." Nikki smiled. "Not always." Victor raised an eyebrow. "Name one time." "When you married me." Victor laughed. "That was the best decision I ever made." Nikki's expression softened. Then the phone rang again. Victor answered. "What?" He listened. His face became serious. "Are you certain?" A pause. "Find out who authorized it." He ended the call. Nikki waited. "What?" Victor looked at her. "Someone is trying to create chaos around Chancellor." "Could it be Billy?" "No." "Jack?" Victor shook his head. "Not Jack." "Then who?" Victor's eyes narrowed. "That's what concerns me." Nick makes a decision. At the rehabilitation center, Nick sat alone. He looked at the puzzle. Only a few pieces remained. Marie entered. "You finished?" "Almost." She smiled. "That's good." Nick placed another piece, then another. Finally, the puzzle was complete. Nick looked at it. "I didn't think I'd get here." Marie smiled. "Neither did the puzzle." Nick laughed. Then his expression became serious. "I want to talk to my father." Marie nodded. "Then do it." Nick picked up the phone. Victor answered almost immediately. "Son." "Dad." Victor's voice softened. "How are you?" "I'm better." Victor paused. "Good." Nick took a breath. "I need you to hear something." "I'm listening." "I don't need you to fight everyone for me." Victor became silent. Nick continued. "I need you to believe I can do this." Victor's eyes filled with emotion. "I do believe." "Then show me." Victor swallowed. "You're my son." "I know. I would do anything for you." "I know. Even if that means stepping back." Nick smiled. "Maybe that's what I need." Victor closed his eyes. "All right." Nick was surprised. "Really?" "Yes." Victor's voice was quiet. "But I won't stop loving you." Nick smiled. "I wouldn't ask you to." The final confrontation. As evening approached, Jack returned home. Diane was waiting. "You look exhausted." "I've had a day." "Victor?" Jack nodded. "He warned me." Diane's expression hardened. "What did he say?" "Enough." "Are you going to back down?" Jack looked at her. "I don't know." Diane walked closer. "Jack, you don't have to fight every battle." "I know." "But," Jack smiled, "but this one may be worth fighting." Diane sighed. "Then be careful." Jack kissed her forehead. "I will." Suddenly his phone rang. Jack answered. "What?" His expression changed. "You're certain?" He listened, then slowly sat down. Diane watched him. "What happened?" Jack lowered the phone. "The Chancellor claim." "What about it?" "It's connected to someone we thought was gone." Diane stared at him. "Who?" Jack looked toward the window. "I don't know yet." The last surprise across Genoa City, a mysterious figure stood in a darkened office. A folder lay open on the desk. Inside were documents connected to Chancellor. A photograph rested beside them. The figure picked it up. "Everything is finally where it belongs." The phone rang. The figure answered. Yes. A voice spoke from the other end. The mysterious person smiled. No, they haven't figured it out. A pause. They think this is about Billy. Another pause. No. The smile disappeared. This is much bigger than Billy. The call ended. The figure placed the photograph back on the desk. Then another document was pulled from the folder. At the top was a name. Abbott. The figure whispered, "Let the war begin." Meanwhile, at the Newman Ranch, Nikki sat beside Victor. For once, neither spoke. They simply sat together. Then Nikki said, "You know what I think?" Victor looked at her. "What?" "I think our family has spent too much time fighting." Victor smiled faintly. "Impossible." "Victor," he laughed. "All right, maybe." Nikki leaned against him. "Nick needs peace." "He does. And so do we." Victor looked at her. "I can try. That's all I ask." Victor took her hand. Then his phone buzzed. He looked at the message. His face changed. Nikki immediately noticed. "What is it?" Victor didn't answer. "Victor?" He slowly looked up. "Someone has made a move." "Against us?" Victor's expression hardened. "Against everyone." Nick's new beginning. Back at the facility, Nick stood by the window. For the first time, he wasn't looking backward. He was looking forward. Marie joined him. "Ready?" Nick nodded. "I think so." "You don't sound certain." "I'm not." Marie smiled. "That's okay." Nick took a deep breath. "I've spent so much time trying to be the person everyone expects. And now? Now I want to be honest." Marie nodded. "That's a good place to start." Nick looked at the city beyond the window. "My family is complicated." "Very," he laughed. "But they're my family." "They are. And I'm going to fight for them." Marie smiled. "Just remember to fight for yourself too." Nick looked at her. "I will." The cliffhanger night fell over Genoa City. At Jabot, Jack stared at the mysterious document. At Chancellor, Billy prepared to defend his position. Lily gathered her allies. Holden made his decision. Nikki and Victor tried to protect their family without destroying themselves in the process. And Nick took another step toward rebuilding his life. But somewhere in Genoa City, someone was watching. Someone who knew the secrets of the Abbotts. Someone who understood the Newman family. Someone who knew exactly how to turn Billy, Lily, Victor, Jack, and everyone else against each other. The phone rang again. The mysterious figure answered. "Is everything ready?" A voice replied, "Yes." The figure smiled. Then tomorrow they find out the truth. The call ended. The figure looked at the photograph one last time, then whispered, "Nobody in Genoa City is ready for what's coming." To be continued. What this fan fiction sets up. The August 24 storyline centers on the continuing Chancellor power struggle, Victor's conflict with Jack, Nikki's support for Nick, and Lily's attempt to force Holden to choose a side. These elements align with the publicly reported Monday spoilers and the official CBS episode storyline surrounding the week. The larger week is also expected to intensify the Victoria Kyle storyline, Lily's conflict with Billy, and the return of Matt Clark, giving this fictional continuation several possible directions for future episodes.